The people that are working here, a couple of the ladies that are working here, were a little bit rude. Hola Spain lovers, hola Spanish food lovers. Stuart here with another food review video. I'm in the province of Cuenca, around 77 kilometers away from Spain's capital city, Madrid, at a restaurant called Area 77. Believe it or not, it's a roadside restaurant. We have one of Spain's busiest highways just over here, taking people down to Valencia. Lots of trucks parked here as well. And I'm going to go into this restaurant and try their meal of the day. Not sure what I'm going to get, but I'm hungry, looking forward to this meal, and apparently this restaurant gets very, very busy. So without further ado, let's go inside, sit down, and get stuck into the food. Vamos! Now I know what you guys are thinking, Stuart, you haven't done an introduction to this video, you've got the food already. Well, that's because this is a fairly weird setup. It's not the traditional Menú del Día here in Spain. It costs the same, €12.50. I'll go through the price at the end of the video, but it is a buffet. Everything is prepared. You get your tray, you get your first course, you get your dessert, you get your second course, you get your drink, and then you sit down and away you go. And the person standing over there was very clear that there is no service in this restaurant. So no service, buffet, and the food is already on the table. So what have I got today? Well, there were different choices. I can't remember everything that was on display, but you had salads, you also had plates of cheese and ham and things like that, and there were a few other dishes as well. But I went for a spoon dish because, as you guys know, one of my favorite things to eat here in Spain is the spoon dishes, and this is one of them, costillas con patatas. The smell, not too bad, considering that it is a buffet. It's not coming out fresh. It's been sitting there probably for half an hour or so, being kept warm. But I'm looking forward to trying it. Let's see what the first mouthful is like. And as I expected, it's not piping hot. It's lukewarm, but it's tasty. So what have we got in this dish? As the name suggests, it is costillas, ribs, with potatoes, some other vegetables in here as well, carrot, we've got some red peppers as well, some green peppers, some onions, some tomato as well. And it's a very thick broth, I will say. And this is something that my mother-in-law makes very, very well. And I'm going to say, this one's not bad. Not as good as hers, but not bad. The potatoes are tender, they have been well cooked. And the meat, the little bit of meat that I have tried so far, pork rib, I think, did I have a pork rib the other day? I think I did, back again, but in a different style of dish, this one here. And this is a very, very popular dish here in Spain. You'll find it all over the country, home-cooked food, costillas con patatas. And I reckon that if you asked 100 people in this country what some of their favorite meals are, this one would be right up there. Would I have preferred this to be a little bit hotter? Yes, but of course, buffet meal, not the case. Looking around this restaurant, I will say that it looks fairly clean. No one here yet. It's only just gone 1 p.m, so just myself and one other group of people eating at the moment. Maybe they're staff, I don't know. But around 2 p.m, this place should fill up because we're just off the main highway, as I mentioned, and lots of people passing by, lots of truck drivers passing by, lots of people on their way down to Valencia and other places passing by. So I reckon it would get busy, but at the moment, no. And another thing I'm going to say is that it is a big, big place. Plenty of seating, plenty of tables. I reckon around 150 people could fit into this restaurant, no problems at all. And also the bar area is big as well. And one thing that has surprised me is that there's not a lot of staff here. And that's probably why the food is relatively cheap, €12.50 for a 3-course meal, because they don't have many overheads. Now, time to deal with this rib, this little piece of bone that I have here. Let's try and get the meat off it. It's well cooked. It falls off the bone. You can see how tender it is. And it's also flavoursome, I will say. Messy, but flavoursome. Now, I'm going to try and finish this off. It has been a hearty dish, I will say. Plenty of potatoes, plenty of broth. Not a lot of meat, but no complaints. Dish number one, done and dusted. Bring on number two. Oh, wait a minute, it's here. And if you didn't believe me, so let's get straight into dish number two. Another piece of meat. There were different things on offer, being a buffet. They had a tuna dish. They had some pieces of tuna. They also had some meatballs, I think. Can't remember exactly, but I went for this dish. Don't know why, but it's what I felt like at the time. I had the choice of chips or beans, and I went for beans because, as you guys know, here in Spain, you don't often get the choice of beans or something green on the plate. Normally, they'll give you chips, or at least that has been my experience over the years. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is that this cut of meat is quite tough. I'm not sure exactly what cut it is, but it's tough. However, and most importantly, it's flavoursome. And I think the cut is, if I'm not mistaken, churrasco. I think that's what it's called. But again, don't quote me on that. I'll see if I can find out exactly the name of the cut and I'll put it on the screen. But it's a flavoursome piece of meat, I will say. Not sure exactly how it has been cooked because it's come with quite a lot of liquid. So I don't know whether it's been braised. I don't think it's been done on the grill. It might have been, but it's in some type of sauce as well, which was a common factor of all of the choices. I think today they all came in a sauce in the Bain Marie up there. Now the place is starting to fill up. More people starting to come in. Some pensioners obviously on their way down to their holiday home on the coast, stopping in for a cheap lunch in this restaurant here. Now let's try the beans. Interested to see what they taste like. Fairly stock standard, the way that they do beans here in Spain. Don't know whether they come out of a tin or whether they're fresh beans. They're normally cooked in a little bit of olive oil in the pan with some garlic, with some other ingredients there as well, a little bit of carrot. But a fairly simple way of doing green beans. But they're nice. Again, they're not overly hot because they have been sitting on the tray for 5 minutes while I ate that first course, so that's a bit of a downer. Also included with the menu, as you would expect, is this piece of bread, a fairly big piece of bread. Let's dip it into the sauce on the plate. Nothing to write home about. Washing everything down today with a bottle of water. I think there was beer on offer there as well, maybe wine also, but I'm on the road, so no alcohol. And I can take that with me if I don't finish it. Now, back into the meat. Let's see if I can cut through the meat. A little bit tough, as I said. But of course it is the characteristic of this cut of meat, and I chose it. Now, let me see if I can get through this part of the steak. Not easy. You can probably see that I'm having trouble cutting into it. And on second thoughts, I should have gone for the tuna. And I think, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time that I have had a buffet menú del día, or menu of the day, here in Spain. So the first for me. Now I'm just going to finish these beans. Have one more mouthful of meat. You can see how fatty that is there. Difficult to cut, not the best cut, I will say. And that's dish number two done and dusted. Time for dessert, which is also here. Now I'm going to get stuck into the final part of the meal today. That is dessert, and this is known as cuajada, or curd, I think would be the translation. It's got some honey on top as well to make it a little bit sweeter, because it's not really a sweet dessert. So you need honey if you want any type of sweetness at all. And this, I will say, is one of my favorite desserts here in Spain. You can normally pick this up at the supermarket. It's a fairly common dessert. In the yogurt section, milk section, you'll find cuajada. I like it. However, take away the honey and there's not much going on. And I always go for dessert. There's been a debate on the channel in recent times. Do you go for the dessert or do you go for coffee, which is normally the other option? I always choose dessert. And basically that's because I'd rather have a bad dessert than a bad cup of coffee. But that's just me. And one thing I will say about this meal is that the portion sizes are almost perfect. The first course that you saw was fairly good. The second course as well, didn't need much more. And of course the dessert, which is not huge, just enough to fill up the hungry travellers or the hungry truck drivers that would stop in here for a quick lunch. Oh, and that's also something that I need to point out, that this has been a quick lunch. Because everything's already ready, you're not waiting around for a waiter or waitress to bring it to your table. You pay as soon as you get it, so there's no mucking around. Done. Time for my final thoughts on the meal today. Stay tuned. So, my final thoughts on the meal today at this restaurant here, this roadside restaurant, Area 77 in the province of Cuenca in the center of Spain. €12.50 as you saw the price there. So, starting with the first course, which was the ribs and potato dish, costillas con patatas. I liked it. Was it the best that I've ever had? No. Was it as good as my mother-in-law's version of the same dish? Absolutely not, but it wasn't too bad. 3.8 out of 5. The second thing that I ordered today, the meat and green bean combination, fairly stock standard. If I had my time again, I would probably go for the tuna or one of the other dishes there. There was also some fried meat. A nice piece of fried meat came out after I got my dish, so I wasn't able to get that one because I was too early, but I would have ordered something else. So I'm going to give that piece of meat and the beans fairly stock standard, as I said, 3.5 out of 5. It was edible, but I wouldn't order it again. And the final thing that I ate today, the cuajada or the curd for dessert, again fairly stock standard. I can't think of any other words to describe it. I've had it 1,000 times here in Spain. And was it better than the supermarket variety? I don't think so. It probably was a supermarket variety. It seemed to be because of the type of dish that it comes in. I don't know whether they would be making it or buying it indirectly. So I'm going to give that a 3.5 out of 5 as well. The bread, as you can probably tell here, pretty bad. Very, very light bread. It wasn't the worst bread that I've ever had, but again, wasn't the best bread. But for the price, €12.50, what can you expect? And the water, no need to rate that. So in general, I'm going to give this place 3.7 out of 5, below the average on Google. I think that's the first time that I've done that, but 3.7 I think. There was no service, so I can't really rate the service. The people that are working here, a couple of the ladies that are working here, were a little bit rude. Not the friendliest people that I have seen. Don't know why that is. Maybe they don't like people like me coming into the restaurant. I don't know. And some of the other reviews on Google that I saw also criticized the people working here. So if you're planning on stopping here at this restaurant on your travels through Spain, be warned that the staff is not very friendly. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. If you've got anything to add to the conversation today, please, I would love to hear it in that comment section below. Would you enjoy the food that I have eaten today? Again, let me know in that comment section below. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss a video when I record it. Until the next one, hasta luego from Central Spain.